Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and this is our Sire Z3. We've already reviewed this base, and this is honestly one of my favorite Stingray style bases, and considering that it's $4.99, it's a no-brainer in regards to Stingrays. We're not talking about that today. Instead, we're going to address the one biggest flaw that I saw in the Sire Z3, and that was the tuners. They were pretty stiff and difficult to articulate. They didn't really work super well. I mean, they held tune, but getting the string in tune, especially replacing strings, was a chore. I thought that I could fit the Gotoh GB528s in these, however, I was mistaken. So it looks like the Sire Z3 as well as the V3 use a different size tuner, ever so slightly bigger in its screw pattern, meaning that the Gotoh replacements that we know and love for these Sire bases will not work for this base or the V3, which is kind of a shame, but what can you do? I'll tell you what we can do. We can install the Hipshots, and that's what we're going to do today. I've done probably 1 or 2 videos installing Hipshots on Sires before, and we're just going to kind of rehash that. I've already installed 3 of the 4 tuners, so I'm just going to go through the process of installing the final tuner. What you're going to need is a screwdriver, a 19mm socket, a smaller socket tool, this is to get the old bushing out, a drill, and a hammer or mallet. You'll also need some painter's tape to beef up the stock bushing that comes with the Hipshot, as it's a little bit too small, and the bushing adapters that they make with Hipshot are a little bit too big for the Sire tuner hole here. So we are going to use our trusty old painter's tape trick, which I've done in other videos. I'm not going to show the process here, but the finished result is a little tuner bushing that has tape around it. The tape will not be visible when it's on the headstock. This is just to make sure that it doesn't move around and it stays centered. So anyways, let's get to it. Our first step is going to be removing the existing tuner. As I mentioned, I've already installed 3 of the Hipshots here, so I'll just give you a quick little view of what we're working with. These are Hipshot Ultralites, the import series. They're the chrome ones, however they have a satin body to them, I guess. Or maybe I ordered the wrong ones, I don't know. But they look nice. And we have the E-string tuner still stock here. Let's go ahead and remove the tuner. We're gonna detune our string. And we'll just let that dangle over there. Bring the stand forth. Next, we're gonna go ahead and unscrew our tuner here. There's 4 screws. Oops, well, that screw's gone. Anyways, now we can remove our tuner, which I just did, and now we have to get the bushing out of here. In my Z3, the bushings were a little bit loose and easy to remove, though I really recommend proceeding with caution here because you can damage the headstock if you use too much force. So let's get started. We're going to use a hammer here and our little socket tool. Where am I? We're going to stick the socket in the tuner hole, and we are just going to make sure that there's even contact, and we're just going to go ahead and tap it ever so slightly. Again, proceed very slowly, use light taps, and the bushing should come out after a little bit. No damage. Yay! Our next step is going to be to install our new tuner. We have it here. I'm unscrewing it. We have our bushing and our washer here, and then the painter's tape. And now we're going to go ahead and just pop the tuner roughly in place, and then put the bushing in there, and then start tightening by hand. It'll take a little bit. And then once it's in there and threaded, we can use our 19mm socket and go ahead and tighten it all the way. And then we align it with the other tuners visually. I mean, I guess you can do measurements or whatever, but it's pretty easy to eyeball it. And we are going to use our drill. You can eyeball the size of the bit. The way you do that is you look at your drill bit, You look at the screw, make sure your drill bit is not as fat as the screw teeth, and make sure it's close enough. I have no idea what size this is, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and drill away here. Make sure you mark your drill bit with some painter's tape to make sure you don't go all the way through your headstock. That will be unfortunate if you do. And then we make a hole. And now we're just gonna go ahead and use one of the screws that we salvaged from the stock tuner. Pop it in there. I guess you could use the Hipshot screw, it doesn't really matter. Some screws, some stock screws will be too big to use with the Hipshot Ultralites. It is not the case with these Sire screws, so. And finally, with our tuner installed, we can install our string and play our Sire Z3. And with that, we've installed our Hipshot Ultralite tuners on our Sire Z3. We can enjoy the lightweight tuners, improving the balance of the instrument, but more importantly, making it easier to restring. These tuners are way easier to articulate. They stay in tune, they look good, they feel good. Great upgrade. But that will do it for our Sire Z3 Hipshot Ultralite mod. I think we were successful here. We got the tuners on here. They work great, they look great. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about a short video for once. I know I've been making the long videos and now we made a short one. It's all because of you folks. You folks are like, hey, chill out on the hour-long videos. I'm like, okay. But that will do it for our tuner mod of our Sire Z3 here. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this mod. Let me know if you've done this on another bass. And let me know what you think of the videos in general. I don't know. Leave a comment. Say hi. And that will do it until we groove again.